Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from
السلام
Leland
عليكم
has an
ورحمة الله
enduring
وبركاته.
aftertaste.
أسعد الله أوقاتكم
In
جميعا بخير.
Inazuma, the
حياكم
water
الله في
possesses a
جديد من
depth
لعبة
of
Genshin
flavor
Impact.
unlike any other.
الفيديو هذا يا أحبتي بإذن
Sumeru's
الله
water,
جل جلاله
meanwhile, has a rich and
نحاول نلعب مهمة
complex flavor
شخصية
profile,
فاروزان،
but it must be
شخصية مرضى
savored
النجوم.
patiently to fully
نجمع الموارد إن
appreciate it.
شاء الله على خير. بسم الله. حيا الله المتابعين. بسم الله. طيب اللهم صل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. ايه اوكي. البركة الله يسعدك. منور. طيب اللهم صل وسلم على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. حيا الله مشاري. الله يبارك فيك. بارك. طيب مين اللي عنده نقص ارتفاكتات؟ خلينا نروح نفرمه ان شاء الله. طيب ارتفاك. طيب مين؟ لا حاضر. سيد القاضي انت ما شاء الله تبارك الله مظبط. الله حتى ما شاء الله. متى تبغى إذن تلعب؟ طيب الله يحفظك. شوف ما في مشكلة بلعبها معك، بس إذا بتلعب معي بلعبها، إذا ما أنت لاعب معي ماني رايح إذن. خلاص إذا بتلعب معايا أنت وأمير بنروح إن شاء الله. أبد أحملها إن شاء الله وأبشر. لأني حذفتها فاللهم صل على محمد إن شاء الله بحملها وأبشر بإذن الله تعالى نروح سوا بإذن المولى تعالى. طيب عادي إذا جيت بنام أبد بحط السي دي ويحمل إن شاء الله. طيب موراكس أنت تمام؟ نوفرد تمام؟ فورينا. طيب نجمع لفورينا المرة دي.
Melusines are
بنقول إن شاء الله بكرة بإذن الله. بإذن الله تعالى بكرة بإذن الله تعالى. إذا فيها خليني أخلص بدري وأروح أنام عشان صباح الخير أقوم صحصح. إيه هذا بكرة إن شاء الله. بكرة نخليها لبكرة بإذن الله تعالى وابشر. بسم الله. ثلج ومويه وطبيعة. حط الدرع. متى بتكون فاضي؟ إن شاء الله. إن شاء الله. قول إن شاء الله.
Gather. It lies within you. redemption. Stabilize.
Strike a pose.
Do not fight. Your salvation.
Into the bull.
Burn this barren wasteland. Yet one more sin upon your soul. Order guide you. Sin solidify. Washed away.
Make yourselves a home. Let my name echo in song.
Of your sins.
Mine to wield.
Fight your salvation. One more sin upon your soul.
Commit it to memory.
Your atonement has barely begun. Not astray.
يا جماعة اتركوا عمي القاضي. ايش فيكم يا جماعة؟ اتركوا عمي القاضي. نبغى نركز على اللهم صل لا. النار والرينج كاركتر الشخصيات مدى بعيد. اي خير ان شاء الله. اسمع ما هي قوية، ما قويتها صح، ما قويتها مضبوط. والله محتار يعني هذول اللي فوق مرشحين هم اقوى مرشحين. طيب بس ما حتضر، انا هذا اللي قاعد اقوله. آه، الشخصيات ذات المدى البعيد هم يبقوا نار. ما كاركتر ممنوع فين؟ في بنت. الله المستعان. طيب واحد. اللهم صل على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. ابشر ابشر ابشر. جرب. نقول بسم الله. بإذن الله تعالى يا صديقي. أها أها
Stabilize.
أها أها. أوكي. طبعا. أها انتهينا. Take this. انزل 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 يا تعبان انزل. خذ. عجيب أستاذ مشاري. لا كذا كذا.
I will have order.
شخصية كان أخذت أرليكينو بنت أنا أخذت أرليكينو. اسلم. إيش ذا؟ طب نجرب. لا لا يا عمي، اتركوا القاضي، اتركوا القاضي، ابغى القطعة هذه. اي انا اقول ما في مشكلة، اخذ انبر، اخذ انبر، صلي على محمد، اخذ انبر عشان تضرب اذا طار، واخذ معاها بنت عشان اذا طاح في الارض افك الالتمت واقعد اضرب فيه. طيب هذا ايش كمان؟ بالينج اتاك كاركتر. خلينا نشغل ترجمة عمو جوجل. مولد المجال تجريبي عادي، أثناء المعركة يولد شخصيات مع آركي بينوما شخصيات الهجوم الغاطس. هجوم غاطس؟ آه... طيب أنا خليني أجرب. برضو يا أخوي إيش فيه؟ أنتوا إيش فيكم على ذول؟ لا إله إلا الله. طيب سيدي القاضي تعال، ورينا تعالي. آه... نجرب، دعونا نرى ماذا لدينا يا ترى.
Stabilize.
Yoo-hoo! I see everything.
الله يصلحك ويهديك، الله يصلحك ويهديك.
Gather.
Strike a pose. Grow, grow, grow. Let the world collide.
Let the mighty be humbled. Stabilize.
Share my knowledge.
هوب. واو كان حي. ما نبغى جيو يا جماعة، ما نبغى جيو. ارتفاكت الزبال، ارتفاكت زبال. اطلع 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 اطلع. لقيت كود بس هذا اشهر في غرفة تخطيط يقول انه منعصب فيه، يعني جربت وطبلت نزلته في التيك توك. الله يصلحك يا شيخ. هداك الله يا مشاري، هداك الله يا صديقي، هداك الله، هدى الله الجميع. طيب لا هذول انسى موضوع.
Add Astro. Thank you for complete. Add Astro.
بنت فريق حقي اقوى مني. ما شاء الله عليك، الله يبارك فيك. انت الله يحفظك، ليش داعس في اللعبة؟ انت ليه مستعجل في اللعبة؟ الله يحفظك ماني فاهم. بسم الله. 10,000 مو. طيب نشوف مين اللي نحن. في طب هو عندك ولا لا؟ خلينا نشوف. 13. خلينا نشوف هو في عندنا منه 100 ولا لا. اللهم صل على محمد حبيب الله. ويا الله يا الله، هذا كله يا الله يا الله. طيب يا كازوها معليش خليك المرة الجاية. مين أرلي؟ في؟ لا ما في. معليش يا أرلي. إيلان؟ خذ إيلان يلا. تستاهل كل خير.
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate.
بإذن الله
Mondstadt's
تعالى
water is
ابشر إن شاء الله.
crisp and pure, while
اللهم صل وسلم على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. هذا الإضاءة إن شاء الله إن شاء الله يا صاحبي إن شاء الله. دقيقة.
has an
طيب خلينا نخفف الإضاءة لأن جابت لي العمى. كنترول لا. واه
In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any
كذا أحسن.
other.
طب
Sumeru
شوية بس دقيقة يا مشاري.
water meat.
درجة واحدة بس. درجة واحدة. واو خليتها أقوى شيء في شيء. بس غيرتها.
Has a
شايف
rich
كيف
and
صارت
complex
أهدى.
flavor profile.
الإضاءة
that
ذيك
must be
مزعجة لعيني
savored
مزعجة.
fully appreciated.
بسم الله. هو أنا لخبطت في حاجة ولا إيش سويت؟ يا إلهي أنا خليتها أقوى ولا أضعف؟ صارت أقوى ولا أنا أتخيل؟ شايف داركر انه ال1 هنا على ال1 على اليسار داركر والثاني تحت داركر. مش عارف. لا لا يا لطيف يا لطيف. شوية بس. بس كذا إن شاء الله أحسن. أوف. عشان طبق اصنع 20 معدن. طيب 20 طبق 20 معدن. طيب نروح عند عمنا الحداد يا استاذ لولوش مشاري اقصد. هذا هنا.
Should I save this money?
لنطبخ لنطبخ. يا لطيف ايش الإضاءة ذي. يا ساتر. دقيقة. علي اجيب نظارة ان شاء الله. اللهم صل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. ماذا نطبخ؟ ايش نطبخ يا استاذ مشاري؟ اللهم صل على محمد. نور من طيب دقيقة يا جماعة، خلونا نعاين الشاشة. طيب الاي كير. طيب الاي كير حماية العين شغالة. الصورة هات حدة. ايش هي الحدة يا الحدة ايش هي الحدة؟ طب لو نزلناها يعني ايش تتغير؟ ما اتوقع فيها شيء. اللهم صل وسلم على النبي. نرجع. صورة متقدمة. عوافي عوافي. طيب نجرب هذا، نحط اتش دي ار. الله. اتش دي ار اتوقع انه اقوى، بس السينما لا، السينما اخف. السينما اللي احنا فيها دي اخف. اللهم صل على محمد. مستوى الدقة. يلا ان شاء الله كذا تمام. طيب ان شاء الله كذا تمام. اللهم صل على محمد. خلونا نطبخ. نرجع ورا. هي اسمع عنها ما شاء الله تبارك الله، بس ما شاء الله عليك، الله يديك خير في شرف. هي عندي بالشاشة حقتي، لكن اللهم صل على محمد ما أعرف استفيد منها. اوكي. الله يعطيك العافية يا مشاهد. ما هذا الطعام الغريب؟ الله تبارك الله. صل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. طيب مش عندنا طب خلينا نشوف محمدي. الله يحفظك يا رب، نشوفك إن شاء الله على خير.
Way too many books.
دعناك ربنا.
Considering
طبعاً
this
بارك.
library organizing job was classified as a premium commission, Paimon came mentally prepared, you know? But seeing it in person is something else.
Why, if it isn't Cutie and Paimon? What brings you back to Mondstadt? Let me guess. You missed me so much, you just had to come. You've become quite the flatterer since we last saw each other, haven't you?
Found you! We were starting to think you weren't clocking in today.
Well, I wasn't planning to. But then, Catherine mentioned someone had finally accepted an important commission for the library. So I came to check on things. Might you both be here for that very commission by... music to my ears. Now, as you can see, a certain anonymous benefactor has donated a large amount of books to us. Imagine my surprise when a glance down the book list revealed that each one would be an entirely new addition to our collection. There are books of all different kinds, including quite a few that are banned. Troublesome, I know. So this wasn't an odd job I could trust to just anyone. And sorting them myself? My, what a headache that would be. It would take ages. All that to say, I'm very relieved to see you here. I would treat you to some tea, of course, but looking at the state of this place, perhaps another time, yes?
Don't worry, just leave the commission to us.
You're as sweet as ever, Paimon. Well then, good luck in here. I'll leave you to it.
Finally! We made it to the last stack! What even are some of these books? A Hilichurl's Guide to Running for Your Life? Do Hilichurls even read? Oh, and Basics of Whopper Flower Cultivation. Who'd grow one of those, anyway? And what's this one? The Little Witch's Dictionary? Huh. That title's kind of suspicious. And didn't we already sort this area? Did you notice it earlier? Huh. Well, witches always make Paimon think of, you know.
Yoo-hoo! Looking for me?
Alice? How did you get in here?
You must not have noticed, Paimon. I wasn't the one who barged in at all. When you opened that dictionary, you entered a mage's domain.
What? Ugh. Paimon knew that book had issues.
Have you ever read the storybook The Little Witch and the Undying Fire by any chance? Splendid! That makes things easier to explain. This book was written as a dictionary for that other story. The actual contents of the two aren't related at all, though.
That explanation makes things even more confusing.
Oh dear. Where should I begin? You know the promise the Hex and Circle made to Varka at the Tripartite Conference, yes? Namely, that in Mondstadt's greatest time of need, the mages would return and lend their aid to the nation? Well, waiting around for danger to descend upon the land isn't exactly our style. Rather than a scenario where we jump in and save the day out of nowhere, it makes more sense to lay the groundwork over time. That's how M put it. Besides, who knows when such a crisis could occur? It could be in the next life, or even tomorrow. Preparation is crucial. So, I gathered the mages together to write this dictionary. Of course, it had to be under the guise of being related to that storybook. Otherwise, I would never have been able to get them in one place. Well, we looked into Barbie's scryglass and came up with a series of tasks tailor-made for the people of Mondstadt. They're all in this dictionary. Striving toward a common goal, overcoming obstacles alongside trusted companions, becoming better versions of ourselves. That is the best defense against what dangers could lie ahead.
Oh, you make it sound like something bad is actually about to happen.
Now, I never said that. But still, we are talking about trusted companion.
Wait, the huge book donation? That was just an excuse to get us here, wasn't it? We had to spend ages sorting through them, you know?
Oh dear, I never could have imagined you would need to go to such trouble.
Uh-huh. Sure you didn't.
Well, this is an important book. I couldn't just bring it into Teyvat without taking any precautions. Much better to hide it in plain sight, you see. That's why I donated all those other books to the library. Besides, it's not like this is a bad thing. Just think of it as an excuse to reunite with old friends. And as a favor to your dear Aunt Alice.
Okay. If the goal is to help the people of Mondstadt, then we're in. We'll take the dictionary. And the next time we run into our friends, we'll pass your tasks and stuff along, okay?
Wonderful. Then I'll let you get to it. Have fun!
يفتح لكم يا هالغزة ويفتح لهم المسلمين والمسلمات. توك توليس. الله يفتح لكم يا هالغزة. هذه ما عندها ولا كونسليشن. جيب. أهلا يا حي الله لولوش منور. حي الله لولوش، حي الله مهندسنا، يا مرحبا ويا مسهلا، حي الله المثابر المكافح منور. يا ليسا بش بغيتي.
You finished sorting already? Now then, what would you like in return? Oh, that's all? So not to
يلا يا ليسا خلينا نروح نسوي مهمة فاروزان إن شاء الله عشان بعدها أروح أنام إن شاء الله.
Trouble, besides, better for them to remain.
نور يا لولوش.
Here's your payment.
على خير إن شاء الله، إن شاء الله على خير. بتصير إن شاء الله مهندس وعلى خير بإذن الله تعالى. اللهم صل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. طيب مين كان؟ دورن. فينتي هذا أنت يا السمنان. طيب اللهم صل. كم باقي يوم؟ باقي 5 أيام وساعتين و11 دقيقة. يلا على خير إن شاء الله. طيب اللهم صل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. كيف تترك الرينج تلعب لعبة ويبز؟ والله يا لولوش انجلدت فيها، انجلدت وانضربت فيها ضرب لين لين كرهتها. قال لي مشارين وحيجي معايا، اذا في احد بيلعب معايا بروح مساعدة يعني، بروح ان شاء الله. اما اذا ما في حد بيجي معايا تجمع لمين؟ ولا أحد، ولا أحد في بالي. إن جت شخصية كويسة، آه، إن جت شخصية كويسة نسحبها. آه، وهذا من فضل الله. آه، قول ما شاء الله، الله يسعدك. قول ما شاء الله، الله يحفظك ويبارك فيك. طور نفسك، شفت بنتك يا أخي، أنت رايح لمناطق متقدمة وليفلك قليل. يا عم انسى الموضوع. اللهم صل وسلم على محمد. آه بمساعدة، بنروح بمساعدة. الله المستعان. طيب سلاح لا تغير سلاحك. سيدي بنشوف لها حل بعدين. والله ولو انه نفسي اسحب عليها، بس مشاري بيلعب معايا. قلت يلا، دام في احد يلا مشينا. اللي في نفسي ودي، ولا هي حذفتها، ونايترين حذفتها، وريتيرنال حذفتها. خلينا على اللي نحن قادرين عليه، وبلاش صداع الراس هذا كله. طيب فاروزان، كونفايندينج كونديريم، اللي هو يلا يا لولوش الى سوميرو، الى سوميرو يا لولوش. لنمضي. طيب لنمضي. يلا يا دب، يلا يا لولوش يا دب. إذا تبغى علمك عن طريق من السبعين في الصوت، تجيب سلاح قوي بسهولة.
Even though most of
ممكن
the
نتابع في
academia's
اليوتيوب.
restrictions have significantly relaxed, I'm still a
تقصر
bit
الله
worried
يرضى
that
عليك.
the Matra might give her trouble. I need to stay here to keep an eye on the situation. Kale, can you head to Sumeru City and find out why she isn't here yet?
Does it have to be me?
I'd only assign a job this important to someone I trust. Are you not feeling well?
جزاك الله خير.
Oh no, I'm fine. I've completely recovered. It's just that if I'm going to see her, I think I need to mentally prepare myself first.
I know. You'll have a tough time if you go by yourself. If we could arrange for someone to accompany you.
يا وجه الله، ايش حكاية بابا؟
Hey there!
It's been a while. What a coincidence.
يخلق
I was
جزاك
just
الله بارك
thinking
فيك.
about
إن شاء الله
asking you to accompany Kale to
الله
Sumeru
يبارك.
City.
الله يلطف بحالك.
Sorry, that's not what I meant. It's just that this matter
Lucia,
concerns
don't-
research banned by the academia.
زيك.
Not the sort of thing you'd shout from the rooftops. Also, you happen to know about this situation. There are very few people I can trust to be discreet right now. It's complicated, and this isn't the best place to talk about it. We'll fill you in on the details once she arrives. You might have heard about her in Sumeru before. Her name is Farouzan, and she's a very experienced... Let's just say that a huge part of Kasharawar's mechanical research over the past 100... She is, but she vanished for 100 years because of a certain incident. She only returned to the academia after being found in the wilderness a few years ago. Because of that, her current personality can be a bit... strange, as is her attitude towards Kale.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
She doesn't have bad intentions, so you don't have to be scared.
I'll try.
Yes. Kasharawar and Spontamod researchers are often quite prejudiced, so I can't trust them with this matter. However, Farazan isn't influenced by modern thinking. In our previous correspondence through letters, she indicated that she'd be willing to help. It's already past our arranged meeting time. But she still hasn't... I don't think so. With her personality, it's more likely that she got wrapped up in some sort of trouble. Anyway,
ايش التصعيد اللي غير مبرر هذا السيد هولمز؟
on Farazan for me?
Thank
ما
goodness.
خطبك اليوم هولمز؟
So anxious.
I'm counting on you
حب
to.
الشاي الانجليزي
Kale,
لكن
don't
ليس
push yourself
بالضرب
too hard.
بالابريق
Just go there and see what's going on.
وبالرش بالماء
Our
الساخن.
task is important, but not that urgent. If Farazan
ما
really isn't
أخطبك
some
اليوم سيد
trouble,
هولمز؟
come back and tell me about it. We can always reschedule our meeting. After
غفر الله
all,
لنا
if she's
ولك.
distracted by other things,
هل هو اللورد جودريك؟ أم أنه جودفري؟ أم أنه تلك السحلية البغيضة ماكار؟ من أغضبك اليوم؟ أريد أن أعلم. أم أنها ميلينيا سيف ميكولا؟ يا ساتر. Find فاروزان in the academy.
Sorry, what did you say? Oh, could you repeat yourself? As you know, I'm sure, hearing goes with age.
Farzan, I said that you need to give us an answer.
Ah, yes. And did you forget to add madam when you addressed me earlier?
Your hearing is perfectly fine. Madam Farzan, we don't want to make things difficult for you. However, you haven't been teaching courses or supervising theses these past few years. Isn't this rather problematic as an advisor? Never mind the students. Even other advisors are starting to complain.
And who, if I may ask, complained? If they have any issue with me, tell them to talk to me themselves rather than waste any of your time. You don't have to tell me anything. I very well know that it's those people from Haravatat. How I wish they'd put their time into doing proper research instead.
But, Madam Farzan, it has been a long while since you last made any practical academic contribution yourself.
Academic contribution cannot simply be divided between the tangible and the intangible. The issue here, I believe, is that the reviewer doesn't understand the very nature of knowledge itself. In any case, makes no sense to use a metric like this to evaluate a mentor. Which sage set this rule anyway? I should write a letter of complaint right this instant.
Wait! Madam Farzan, please let me finish.
That's her, all right. But the person with her doesn't look like a Matra. Shh! She hates it when people call her young! Her body apparently stopped aging during the year she was gone. Okay, I think I'm ready for this. Let's go!
Anyway, Akara Crafts and the leader of Kasharawar would like to invite you to collaborate on this project. They're wondering if you'd be interested. Madam Farzan? Are you listening?
Mm-hmm. Ah, Kale! Why are you here at the Academia? Are you feeling better now? I'm much better, Madam Farzan. It's all thanks to the Traveler and the Dendro Archon. Have you been sleeping well? You seem to be developing some eye bags. Is that brat Tainari forcing you to stay up late again? No, it's because I'm a slow learner. It's not Master's fault. It's good to be hardworking, but you need to take care of your health. I'll have to give Tainari a right talking to when I see him. I'll also prepare some health supplements for you. There's really no need. Ah, and is the person beside you the legendary Traveler? Oh, I've heard much about you before. In fact, I've been meaning to meet you for a while now. It is thanks to you, after all, that the Academia is finally getting back on its feet. Even Kali's illness is...
Ahem. Madam Farzan, I believe we were still discussing the collaboration with Akara Crafts.
I'd wager it's those Kasharawar dunderheads finding excuses so that I'd go to their darshan. Say no more. I have no plans to change my field of research.
If you're this unwilling to participate in the collaborative project, you can also consider teaching a class. It might be difficult to teach a course with topics that only fall within Haravatat's subjects, but we can't delay this anymore. You need to give an answer. You can teach a course or participate in a collaborative project. If you don't do either, it'll be hard for me to persuade the advisors and students who have been complaining.
Could you not give me a few more days to consider? This matter has been delayed for so long already.
That's precisely the issue. If you don't give an answer today, I fear that someone will soon escalate their complaints to the sages.
What a waste of free time these folks are. Now you two are here at Tainari's behest, I take it. I'm sorry, but given the current situation, it looks like I'll have to come over some other day. Of course. I shall need some time to think as well.
What now? She seems so busy. Master said there's no rush, but But I know that he's been busy working on something at Party's DI, so he hasn't returned to Gandharville for several days now. I feel for Madame Farazan, but I still want to ask her to come with us. But if I get her in trouble with the academia, then she won't have the time to help Master. What should I do? Oh, this is such a headache. Yeah, that would be the best for them both. I'll check with Master later and see if there's anything I can help him with. But I'm sure he'll say, the best thing you can do now is study hard, so I don't have to give you remedial lessons. Huh? Oh yes! This way she can get her problem sorted out quickly, and then she can go see Master. So if I also stay and help... that still sounds kinda scary. Okay then. I'm counting on you.
I have to teach students from Haravatat, or owe Kasharawar a favor. It strikes me that they might be even less happy about such a deal than I am.
I think I can sympathize with them.
We're back, Madame Farazan. The Traveler said that he can stay and help you.
Oh, why I couldn't ask for more. In fact, I'm rather curious about the type of person the Traveler is. You were the one who taught Azar a lesson after all. That said, will I be troubling you? Is that so? Good. It does so happen that I do have something I need help with. Now, should I apply to teach a course with Haravatat, or join the collaborative project that Kasharawar is proposing? Honestly, I don't want to choose either of them.
You might have heard of it before. Haravatat is an academic faction that researches languages and runes. 100 years ago, Madame Farazan was a researcher from that darshan.
No, not was. Still am.
Yes, of course. But current Haravatat students can't really... understand her direction of research. So even if she opened a course, chances are that no one would attend.
summary, I mean to interpret the configurations and solutions of ruin mechanisms via the deciphering of on-site stone carvings and unearthed documents. It'll include research into general documents dealing with such ancient machines.
The research method is supported by Haravatat, yes, but the content deals heavily with both ruins and mechanisms. This will make it difficult for students of this darshan because they don't understand much about mechanisms. Also, there are fewer and fewer unexplored ruins left nowadays, and Ksharawar researchers have been developing their own theories on mechanisms. As such, they don't need to rely on ancient documents.
They're far too complacent. Ancient mechanisms are more dangerous and complex than one might imagine. I'm telling you, things weren't like this 100 years ago. All researchers back then were interested in exploring knowledge from a variety of topics. They also gave more respect to unknown mechanisms. Nowadays, all people are interested in are mainstream subjects in popular research. Even if they attended my course, I wouldn't be interested in teaching them. Also, the people here think that my research is outdated and unrealistic, so they keep cutting my funding. Why, I think they could all stand to learn from Kale. She's a hard-working child and respects her elders.
Huh? Why me?
Ah, if only those who came to my lectures were more like you. Speaking of which, are you feeling better? You don't have to confine yourself to Gandharvaville anymore, right?
I just remembered that I have a lot of studying to do. I need to head back and find Master.
Hmm? Are you telling me to start a reading course for Kale?
Huh?
Wait. Although Tainari has academic dealings with the academia, he isn't considered part of it. This means that Kale isn't technically a student.
No, he's right. The old academia became consumed by their arrogance precisely because they ignored the public. There must surely be many people like Kale and Sumeru who are passionate about learning, but cannot study due to various reasons. The old academia paid no heed to them. But if I start a reading course for Kale as a pilot, perhaps this shall come to benefit many more people in the future.
I'll need to go back and ask if this is in accordance with regulations.
Oh, save yourself the extra trouble. I'll come with you. If there's any arguments to be had, we shall sweep them aside together. Traveler, Kale, do wait for us a little while outside the academia. I'll be back in just a moment.
Wait! Let's catch up with her. I can't believe she rushed right in after we arrived. No, not really. Madame Farazan is a brilliant scholar. Even Master thinks so. If she's really going to teach me how to read, it'll definitely be much better than me bashing my head against the wall. It's just that she can get a bit too passionate sometimes. Maybe it's because she wants to take me in as a student? It's just like that researcher said. The academia has completely changed during the 100 years that Farazan was gone. I don't really get it, but it does seem like Haravatat's students aren't optimistic about the prospects of doing research with her. Students who are interested in mechanisms and applications of the elements generally enroll in Kasharawar and Spontamod. Madame Farazan also refuses to accept random students just to make up numbers. She still hasn't found a student she likes. But she seems to like my attitude toward learning, so she often asks me if I'm willing to become her student. It's because I'm a slow learner that I have no choice but to stay up late and study. Whenever she compliments me, I feel really guilty. It's not that. Madame Farazan respects my choices. She hasn't been trying to persuade me, especially since she knows I need to rest and recuperate. She sometimes brings food to Gandharvaville for me, and each time she says that Master can't find out. Now that you mention it, it does feel a bit like that. Do I really look that young?
Kale, Traveler, thank you for waiting. The issue has been resolved. I argued with the higher-ups and convinced them of the practicality and necessity of educating the general public. If I'm not mistaken, they're the students of my classmates' students. They're a lot less forceful than their predecessors, though. I'd say they caved rather quickly.
Amazing.
It's just that we need to fill in every single page of the application. It's been a century, but the academia is as picky as ever. Let's see now. What do we need to fill in? Course name, learning objectives, teaching methods, course materials. I suppose we can fill in the course name last. That's a bit too general, I'd say. After all, this class's target audience isn't toddlers or children, but rather people who already know the basics of reading. As such, we'll need a more specific learning objective. How about proficiency in reading and writing?
That's true. If we use children's teaching materials, we'll only end up wasting a lot of time on things that students would already know.
And you have your job as a forest ranger, Kale. People who attend this course in the future are also likely to have life commitments. We need...
Master always tells me that practice is the best way to learn. That's why I often ask him to help me find simple books to read.
It must have been difficult to get books in Sumeru in recent years, no? Tainari really went the extra mile for you. Expanding literacy is a capital notion. Now that the academia is easing restrictions on the circulation of books, there should be more people who have become interested in reading. It's a great time to conduct this course. So that's next on the list. Fair. Kale, what have you been reading lately?
Me? I've been reading light novels from Inazuma. I heard that ever since we were allowed to sell books in Sumeru again, some people set up stalls at Treasure Street to sell light novels. I've been meaning to go there and check it out.
Light novels? This is my first time hearing about such a thing, but I doubt I will procure suitable teaching materials from the House of Dana. Treasure Street it is.
Wait for us, Madame Farazan! You wouldn't think someone as fast as her is over 100. Let's pick up the pace and catch up to her.
What a long and mildly ungrammatical title. And why is the cover so colorful?
Is this your first time seeing a light novel, ma'am? Oh, they're the most popular of books nowadays. Would you like me to recommend something?
Fine. One shouldn't judge a book by its cover after all. Maybe browse through the books here.
Of course. Why don't you try this one? It's Outlander Brigade, When the Wind of Death Blew Towards the Blonde Samurai.
I heard that this book's author describes action in vivid detail.
Now I've only skimmed through a few pages, but it feels like it's all fight scenes. There are only subjects and predicates, and the syntax is a tad simple.
Subjects? Predicates?
The protagonist just ends up fighting in every scene with no proper build-up. Will anyone even enjoy a story that's only comprised of fights?
How about... the good thing about being reincarnated as a hilly churl is that I only need to eat Sunsetias to become stronger.
A reincarnation isekai story? Those are pretty popular right now.
Isekai? What in the world is that? Also, why does it become stronger by eating Sunsetias? Tropes? Those fictional rules used to push the plot forward, yes? They're definitely effective in achieving a distancing effect.
Sorry. What is this distancing effect?
However, this book doesn't explain how reincarnation correlates to becoming stronger. Such an illogical rule will affect the coherence of the story. Will readers really accept this?
how about this? I had to fight tooth and nail to get this in stock.
Oh, that's the latest volume of Onibudo!
Now that's a rather normal title length. Oh, Kale, do you like this series?
Yes, but I don't like it that much. Madam, are you going to use this series as teaching material?
Let me see. The dialogue flows quite well, but there are too many phrases here that I don't recognize. Third eye of perception, illusory mirror, and so on. Aren't these terms that are tied to tropes?
I also thought those names were...
It's impossible to derive the meaning of these phrases in isolation. Also, their morphological properties are quite pedestrian, really. Or did the protagonist purposely create these strange names to disorient their foes? So there's no deeper purpose. It's quite hard to understand stories written these days.
You're right. It's such a weird book. But you keep wanting to read the next page.
Even the most popular book in Sumeru back then had greater depth than anything written today. Yes, a Bahumano researcher wrote it while researching folk legends. The plot had many twists. The world building was fantastic, and even the writing could withstand scrutiny. When it was still being published, many people in the academia were reading it. Even the sages back then all described the story as a timeless classic. The series must have concluded after so many years, right? Perhaps it's even more popular now.
Is there a book like that in Sumeru? I've never heard of such a thing before. What's the title?
It's called Tales of Shariar. Do you sell it here?
Tales of Shariar? I don't think I've heard of that before. When was it published?
About 100 years ago.
100 years ago? Are you pulling my leg? What sort of book can remain popular for 100 years?
The Legend of Antara is popular to this very day, isn't it? I just heard someone telling it a few days ago in a cafe. If an old story like that is still being shared, then Tales of Shariar must be even more popular.
Even if that is the case, I really don't carry that book here in my store.
What? Is that because of the academia's strict control over books in recent years? I can't believe they've allowed the people of Sumeru to become so uncivilized. How can they not know about the Tales of Shariar?
Tales of Shariar? Oh, wait. I think I heard an antique seller on the other end of Treasure Street mention that name before. I mean, it is a book from 100 years ago. Why don't you try asking for it there?
Tales of Shariar is considered an antique now? How could the academia have let such an excellent work of literature be forgotten like this? Traveler, Kale, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's meet at the antique sellers.
Madam, wait! Oh no. You asked me why I'm scared of Madame Farazan, right? It's not because I don't know how to respond to her kindness. It's because I'm afraid of that ancient language. Even so, what if researchers from 100 years ago like to use ancient languages in their books? We've got to catch up to her!
Found it! The 5th volume of Tales of Shariar!
Wow! You actually found it!
I never thought this book would ever get sold.
All right, that's our teaching material secured. We also now know what to call this course. Analysis of Classical Texts. After all, this book is definitely worthy of being called a classic.
Can I take a look? Luckily the language being used here isn't ancient at all. I can recognize a few words here and there. Huh? But why aren't there pictures in this book?
As long as the writing is good, readers won't need any illustrations to imagine the scenes. Worry not. I shall thoroughly explain the difficult sections. You'll like this book. I know it. After all this time, I wonder if Aaliyah and Aziz ended up together. And who obtained the Desert Gem in the end? Sir, do you have the subsequent volumes of this series?
I don't think so.
Is that so? And here I thought I could finally read the ending. Never mind, I'll keep searching for the later volumes myself. If I'm to use it as a teaching material, it's better to start earlier in the series. Where are the first 4 volumes? Why aren't they all together?
I don't have those either. Actually, this is the only volume I have.
Is this series really that popular?
No. It's not popular at all. Rather, there's absolutely no demand for it.
No demand? Impossible! Back then, I'd come across at least 3 groups of people talking about it during a single stroll at the Academia.
Seriously? No one told me that this book was anything special when I first got it.
Where did you get this from? Can you still contact the seller?
I'm afraid not. This book was sold together with a whole bunch of antique furniture. I didn't even notice it initially. Otherwise, the Matra would have come knocking. Wait, is this book actually...
That's impossible. No matter how strict the Academia was, there's no way Tales of Shariar could have fallen into such a state.
I do remember a passerby skimming through the book a few days ago. However, he simply sighed and left.
He sighed? Why would he react like that? Given the quality of Tales of Shariar, he should have been entranced after a single glance. I'm sorry. Traveler, Kale, please give me a moment. I'd like to look through this book first. Why is there another misunderstanding between Ali and Aziz? Also, why is there no mention of the Desert Gem at all? And a new character is introduced with no foreshadowing at all? Also, what are all these new names and terms? Is this really the Tales of Shariar I know?
Well, that passerby reacted in... It's Mada from the cafe over there. You know, the fellow who spends all day telling the legend of Antara. Since that's also a very old story, maybe he knows a thing or two about that, Tales of... whatever it's called.
Then let's go ask around at the cafe. Huh? Madame Farouzan?
Huh? Oh, yes. Let's go.
Another day, another empty room.
Excuse me? But are you Mada?
Yes! Are you here to listen to my story?
Well, we actually came to ask about something else.
I see.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm used to it, more or less. So, how can this terribly unpopular storyteller help you?
Do you know about Tales of Shariar?
Huh? Tales of Shariar? Why, I can barely remember the last time anyone talked about it. My master always talked about how incredibly popular that book used to be. However, I tried reciting a few chapters of it at the cafe, and I found that it's even less popular than the Legend of Antara.
Your master?
Yes, the one who taught me how to be a storyteller. He said that Tales of Shariar was written by his master's master's master. He also said that this great-great-grandmaster was an academia researcher, and that even the sages liked the series. He wrote 4 volumes back then, and the reviews just got better and better. You couldn't find a single person in Sumeru who hadn't read his books.
And then? What happened next? Why doesn't anyone know about Tales of Shariar now?
Oh, it's hard to tell when it comes to trends. One day everyone likes stories like that, and the next day their tastes change completely. Instead of writing a proper ending, this great-great-grandmaster kept trying to extend the story. To tap into popular trends, he added a lot of tropes. Then, starting from the 5th volume, the reviews started to go downhill.
How could that be? Then what happened to Tales of Shariar in the end?
In the end, there's no ending. The great-great-grandmaster tried to write a few more volumes, following whatever trends were popular at the time, but the trends kept changing right as he published his books. He got so infuriated that he stopped writing altogether and focused on his research instead.
What? So there's no ending? The readers didn't care?
By that time, only a very small number of people were reading Tales of Shariar. Anyway, my master probably exaggerated. How could a work possibly have been that popular? The only tangible thing my great-great-grandmaster left is the original draft of Legend of Antara. He also left behind many theses from his research phase. When my master talked about Legend of Antara, he'd even quote from those theses. My master is a much better storyteller than me. Even when we're telling the same story about Antara, he's always able to draw in a huge crowd. But even he won't recite Tales of Shariar due to its ever-changing writing style and its lack of an ending.
So, Antara's story is the one that lasted through the years.
Well, not even sages can definitively ascertain the quality of something like a story. In the end, only time can separate the classics from the fads.
Only time?
Madame Farouzan?
It's been 100 years. Perhaps some things I once believed...
Yeah! Master helped me find a lot of famous books at first. But in the end, I realized that I couldn't get into them. No matter how good those stories are, I can't improve my skills if I can't bring myself to read them in the first place.
Huh. Indeed. That is true. Readers' interests and trends of a time are not things that are so easily predicted. What was popular 100 years ago could be completely forgotten in modern times. And yet, 100 years, as far as history is concerned, is but a blink of an eye. If Tales of Shariar hadn't chased after trends and instead stuck to its original style from start to finish, it might have stood some chance of gaining renewed popularity. No, even if that didn't happen, at least it would be a work that was true to itself.
Huh? Our conversation just got a lot more serious.
I don't really get what you're talking about, but it does sound sensible. Looks like...
How unseemly. I almost got carried away because of a single book. Well then, we should get back to the matter of our teaching material. It looks like we can't use Tales of Shariar now. No, it's much too old.
Oh.
Kale, you found a book that you liked at the bookstall, yes?
Yes, but I don't really...
Then we'll use that book as our teaching material. Now that I think about it, using a book that you like is the most suitable choice for teaching you how to read. As for the academia, as long as we come up with an appropriate course name, we should be able to get away with this. My, it sounds like you've dealt with the academia before. Let's go with that. Now then, let's return to the book vendor in a bit and buy the latest volume of this Onibudo for Kale. Ah, but if I wish to use it as teaching material, I have to read it first.
Huh?
Speaking of which, other than Third Eye of Perception and Illusory Mirror, I also espy some unfamiliar phrases from the reader's messages at the back of the book. Such things as, even if it reminds me of my dark history, I still can't help but be drawn in by the story. And the author has written all the things that I only dare whisper into a tree hollow. Why do people use dark history to refer to awkward or embarrassing memories? Is this some slang that was invented in the last century? If one of our learning objectives was researching linguistic changes over the past 100 years, it might make it easier to get these books approved as teaching material.
Oh, I can tell you what that's all about. Apparently, in their youth, some people used to imagine themselves as someone burdened by fate, fighting against the world, etc. But as they grew older, they started to become embarrassed by such memories. Some would write those fantasies into novels, while others would entrust such tales to tree hollows.
Mata, you know, I suddenly have the urge to hear a story about Antara.
Huh? Why so suddenly?
I knew it. There will always be people who love the golden oldies. Now, let me tell you all about the ancient hero, Antara.
No one knows more than a bona fide like me.
Hey, where's everybody going?
Water comes in many flavors to the discerning palate. Mondstadt's water is crisp and pure, while water from Liyue has an enduring aftertaste. In Inazuma, the water possesses a depth of flavor unlike any other. Sumeru's water, meanwhile, has a rich and complex flavor profile, but it must be savored patiently to fully appreciate it.
خلينا نشوف. هذا المسار فوق ديد. قصص من الماضي. كم الساعة؟ أقول إن نروح ننام يا جماعة الخير. تأخر الوقت. طيب نكمل إن شاء الله بكرة. نستودعكم الله إلى لقاء آخر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.